Today I want to talk to you about a piece of hardware that you have in your body that you can use, in fact you must use, to connect to whatever it is you want in life, to attract whatever you desire and effectively reprogram the simulation. So the amazing thing about this concept of living in a simulation is once you know how to do it, you can literally have whatever you want, whether it's relationships, whether it's money, whether it's health. But you need to know how to tune into the right signal, and more importantly you need to boost the signal in order to connect to the right piece of software. So I think it's fair to say that a lot of us know what we want, whether there is more money, more success, maybe if you've got a business, better health, maybe a relationship or better relationships. But the problem is a lot of us think about those things purely in our head. Okay, now our head, our brain, is like the CPU, the central processing unit of a computer, and that's the part that does all the calculations, all the thinking. And again, if you think about it, because people often want some sort of proof, or even sometimes, you want to just remind yourself and really believe that we are living in a simulation, because then once you know that you are, the possibilities are endless. It's whatever you can dream up effectively. So, the world is based on calculations. It's based on maths, whether it's density, time, speed, gravity. So we have plenty proof that we are in a simulation or something that was created by a computer. But by thinking alone what you want, you're using your brain, which that's what you need to use to get the right signal. But the crucial thing is you need to boost the signal, and it's a bit like Wi-Fi. Okay, if you've got a computer, you've got a laptop, let's say, you're in a public place, you're in a cafe maybe, and you're trying to program something in order to attract what you want. But without a strong signal, without Wi-Fi, you will not be able to get a strong enough signal to connect to the internet. So your inbuilt Wi-Fi, in fact, is your heart. Now, according to some research that Greg Braden did, Greg Braden is obviously one of the leading exponents of positive thinking, the holographic universe, and so on and so forth. But he actually comes from a scientific background, and that's why I like him, because I'm pretty open-minded. I think as we get older, we get more open-minded. But it's nice to have that scientific proof as well, because a lot of us were, obviously at school, a lot of our thinking is based on science, based on maths, and so on and so forth. So what he found is, and what he discovered through his research, is the heart is 300 times the strength. It has 300 times the amount of current or electricity than the brain does. So that is why when you're trying to manifest, when you're thinking about what you want, you have to create that buzz, that excitement. When you're excited about something that you're going to go and do, and you get that kind of flurry in your heart, what you're effectively doing is boosting that signal. You need to feel it to push out that signal to the universe and be on the right frequency. Now, the frequency is an interesting one, because a lot of feng shui is based on this as well. I'm a black belt in Kung Fu, and my Sifu, which means master, as well as being a master of Kung Fu, he's also a master of Feng Shui. And he was talking to me once about the importance of facing the right direction when you're sleeping. And I thought, well, why does that make any difference, right? And he said to make sure that you get good health, you get good prosperity, and also you're tuning into the things that you want. And initially I thought, well, that's a bit weird, and I wasn't really sure if I could fully grasp that. I was only in my 20s at the time. And he said, well, think of it like when you're trying to tune into a radio. Now, some of you that are too young might not really quite, the concept's not quite as good, because now you have digital radios and you just press the right button or put in the right signal and you'll connect straight away to that digital radio signal. But back in the day, there's still radios that do this. You would have a dial, okay, and there would be this needle that goes across, and as you get near the correct radio station, or where the station is being transmitted from, you get this noise, and then you would hear voices, and then once you're bang on that signal, you would be able to hear the music or the person talking on the radio station. So that bit, if you like, is your brain. You need to be thinking about the right things. That's why affirmations are still important, and it's also why you need to focus on the one thing that you want at that moment in time. If your mind is skitting about, is jumping about, it's like you've got that dial, and you're sort of moving it left and right and things, and you're jumping from one station to another. Okay, so you need to hold that thought. You need to really think and concentrate for as long as you can on what it is that you want, and then you need to use your heart to boost the signal and really get that feeling in your chest, and try and hold it as long as you can and get that feeling of excitement. So give me a like if you think this is interesting, if you like this kind of content, and do please leave a comment if you have any experience of this, or whether you think this is a good concept or not. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.